you guys doing? Welcome to the cafe. I am super duper excited, guys. She is no stranger to the cafe. Chandra Blumberg is hanging out with us on today, guys, and she have a new one. It's a new series. We are going to talk about the Fix-Up Feud by Chandra Blumberg. God, it is hot off the press, okay? It's available in ebook. It's available in print. We'll be sharing with you in just a bit throughout the broadcast how you can get your hands on it. So not only are we talking about this great book on today, guys, but we are blooming into spring with this book. And not only are we blooming into spring, it's release week. So we get to celebrate with her on today. So if you have not done so already, you already know what to do here at the cafe. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down to the cafe. Grab your favorite beverage because we're getting ready to spill some tea on the Fix-Up Feud. Okay, Chandra, let me tell you, my friend, I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really excited. And before we get started, I have to allow you to introduce yourself to the people.
All right, so hi everyone. I'm Chandra Blumberg, and the Fix-Up Feud is my fifth novel. It is actually the first book in the Orchard Harbor series. So this kicks off a series about Orchard Harbor, which is a fictional beach town in Michigan, right on the shores of Lake Michigan, which if y'all have never been there, the Great Lakes, it's kind of like the ocean. You look out, you can't see the other side. It's got big waves. It's beautiful, crystal clear water, sandy beaches. So it's gorgeous. But fresh water. So it's this quaint little town full of shops and everything, bed and breakfast, all the things. So when I write my books, I always love to bring friendship, found family, humor, and heart. And so I'm from Michigan. I currently reside in Chicago, which is also on the Great Lakes. So I bring all that Midwestern flair to the books.
I love that. And you have a friend in the comment section, Caitlin, in the house. She was like, hello, Michigan. I love that. I love it. Guys, we're excited because we are hanging out with Chandra Blumberg on today. And as she stated, it's a new series as well. Now, I want to ask you this because this is right on the back cover in front of the blurb. You was like, first rule of renovating, don't kiss your contractor. Okay, really? You gonna give us that? Chandra, you gotta share just a little bit about that. Hey, Myra, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so this is enemies, like enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers, but it's also a little bit of mistaken identity because Maddie and Jake, the two main characters, they hit it off right away without knowing who the other person is. And then fast forward, they find out they're going to be stuck working together, and then they get off on the wrong foot. There's a little misunderstanding, a little bickering, and not only is he the contractor who she doesn't realize has been assigned to renovate her new catering shop, but he's also her upstairs neighbor. So there's a lot of friction going on at work and at home. And then they're also fighting that attraction that they both had from their first meeting. So
yeah. And Chandra, before we're gonna backtrack a little bit and talk about the cover, but even look, you got even a little bit of forced proximity in there because I mean, like they're neighbors, so how can they really like not be around each other?
Yes, they're stuck together in a lot of ways. She is very surprised to find out that this man that she took a big chance on, and kissed on their first meeting, she's going to be seeing him all the time. So it's sort of her introduction to small town is that nothing ever really stays private. You're going to see whoever you see on the street every day and maybe upstairs in the house that you're in.
Yes. And Chandra, you know that we love a good small town over here as well. Guys, if you are just joining us, we are hanging out. We are celebrating with author Chandra Blumberg on today, guys. Hot off the press is her fifth book. It is called The Fix-Up Feud. And Chandra, why I am holding this up, my friend, we got to talk about this cover. This is the cutest cover. I love it. Tell us about the cover and what was it like for you when you saw your final cover for The Fix-Up Feud?
Yeah, so this is my first book with Harlequin special edition. So it's my first photo cover. And I was really excited to see how it would turn out because I think there's so many gorgeous, beautiful covers that they put out for this series. And I think they really captured Maddie and Jake well. Maddie is someone who she's like a little hesitant, she's a little uncertain, and she really finds her voice in there. I think you can see how sweet she is in here. And then Jake, he's a grouchy on the outside, but he's sweet on the inside. So we get that. And then I love the springtime setting because I brought all the springtime vibes with this book. It's all
You
about fresh
did.
start. Yes. And so I love that. You see that in like the bright, colorful, and of course I always love pink. So
I love it. I love it. Now, Chandra, okay, you got to spill some tea for us, my friend, because again, this is a new series. This is a new town. Y'all know we love a good small town. We are traveling to Orchard Harbor. And not only that, guys, bonus, it's small town, right? So you got to share with us, what was that spark for Chandra to say, you know what? This has sparked something that has inspired the Fix-Up Feud.
well, so I grew up going to little beach towns along the lakes, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, like northern Michigan, and I always loved the feel of these small, like they're little tourist town, but of course people live there year round, and so it's like really fun because any research that I need to do, I can go and I can go visit the lake. And I've even had the pleasure of doing some book clubs at a bed and breakfast that's on Lake Michigan. So I had that to draw inspiration from as well. But I feel like they're kind of overlooked, these little Great Lakes towns. If people around the country, they kind of sleep on them because they don't realize how gorgeous it is there. But of course, if you're from the Midwest, you know how beautiful it is. So yeah, I love the meddling neighbors of a small town. I love that everyone's up in everyone's business. And then I thought, what better idyllic location to set it than at the Great Lakes.
Look, Chandra, if everybody was up in everybody's business, it wouldn't be small town, right? It would not be small town.
Yes.
Like everybody, all up in everybody's business. And I love it. I love it. That's what we love about small towns. Now, I want to ask you this. If someone had just heard about the Fix-Up Feud, like from the cafe, or they saw it on social media, how would you describe this book to someone that's hearing about it for the first time? What would be your spiel?
So yeah, I would say that it's sort of, I like to call it a grumpy because you hear a lot about grumpy sunshine and when someone's real sweet, but they're both kind of grouchy. My editor called that. I'm like, you know what, you're right. They're both a little grumpy, but also on the inside, they're both super softies. And so once they get past that, you really start to see it. And it's sort of like bickering is their love language for both of them. So they go
Yeah.
back and forth. So I'd say it's sort of this book where it's got this great banter back and forth, but at the heart, it's like a gooey center of
I
romance.
love that. I love that. And Chandra, I'm so here for the banter. I'm so here for the banter, my friend. Now, I want to ask you this, Chandra. What drew you to pairing a caterer and a contractor? Because two people who have to work together, even when they at times rather not.
So
So,
I actually thought she started off as a food stylist. So she's been a food stylist, which is something that I found kind of interesting. I actually found out about it on social media where she's someone that makes the food look real nice in photos.
uh-huh.
And they actually use stuff that's not always food. Like sometimes they'll use like, I don't even know, like glue, or weird kind of food that you wouldn't think would go to make the food stand out in photos. And so she considers herself an artist because she's not necessarily making the recipes, but she takes other people's recipes and makes them look nice for photos. So that's actually how they bond because Jake is more than just a contractor. He's
Yeah.
also an artist. So he does collages. So they bond over their art, but neither of them really talk about maybe their main hustle, which is he works in construction and she
Yeah.
wants to open this catering business. And so once they find out, they're like, oh wow, you're not what I pictured when I thought of as an artist. So that's where a lot of it comes from. But I just thought it would be really fun because they both kind of work with their hands, even though it's in different ways. Like I said, they have a lot in common, even though they're sort of always noticing the differences. They have a lot in common, and that's what draws them together.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Now, Chandra, before we kind of go into more of the book, my friend, you know I'm a meet cute girly. You know I love a meet cute. I was so here for this meet cute. And not only that, guys, it's kind of one of those double meet cutes because it's like, oh, like the next day they like, Oh, tell us about this meet cute and what that was like for you in writing it and bringing it to life for us.
Yeah, so I really want to make sure they have that instant interaction so we know that it's there for them and not just physical, but they have a really great conversation. And that's what's so
Yeah.
on Maddie's walls. Yeah, because she's not someone who takes a lot of chances. Already moving to town was a big risk for her. So her two best friends, Tasha and Celeste, they grew up in Orchard Harbor. And so, but she just moved here. She's starting a new business. She's new in town and she's feeling kind of raw about all these things. And she does not want a
Mhm.
relationship, but Jake sort of gets past her walls. And so that's what makes it then the second time that they meet each other and she realizes he's not who she thought, even though he didn't misrepresent himself. It feels a little
Right.
bit like, oh, I wasn't ready for this. And so yeah, that's where we get the second meet cute, which is more like it's a meet meet argument, I guess, the second time.
I love it. I love it. Guys, let me tell you, if you are just joining us, as you can see, I am super, super excited because I get to hang out with Chandra Blumberg on today, guys. And it is hot off the press. Her new release, The Fix-Up Feud. And guess what? We will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of it. And hold tight because Chandra, in just a bit, is going to share just a little snippet of The Fix-Up Feud as well. Now, Chandra, this book opens up with a kiss that becomes complicated. Okay. What made you want to start with that kind of twist?
I just thought it would be really fun for them because, like I said, like you said too, with the forced proximity, we know they're going to be stuck together. So as readers, as we're reading it, we're like, uh-oh, you see all this chemistry and connection, but it's not going to be smooth sailing. So I like the idea of setting it up with this, like, okay, we see these two people who have all this going for them. What's going to get thrown in that's going to sort of put a wrinkle in this? Because the kiss is
Mm.
amazing. They love it. It's wonderful. So you think, oh, they can just ride off into the sunset. But unfortunately, it's not going to be the case.
Wow. Okay. Now, Chandra, I'm gonna go a little deep on you. Okay. So there is some renovation going on. Okay, right? But renovation is such a great metaphor for an emotional rebuilding, and there are some emotional rebuildings in here. Now, as I said, I'm going a little deep. Was that intentional from the start to
Uh,
kind of have that metaphor, or I'm just going deep as a reader?
I definitely feel like it's the idea of the fresh start. Like I think you've taken it to another level because I was thinking more in sort of her getting her start in town. She's taking this old place and building new. But yeah, even from the inside, as readers will see, Jake has some hurt in his past. Maddie has some hurt in her past. Yeah, and they sort of go through this healing. And what I really love is they're both doing the healing on their own and together. So I really
Yeah.
want it to be like it's not that the other person is healing them, or their love is completing them. It's more like they become two whole people on their own, and then they're able to be there for each other. So yeah, I love that idea about the renovations. Yeah, you know,
Wow. Guys, let me tell you, okay, if you have not gotten your hands on a copy of the Fixed Up Feud, what are you waiting for? Book clubs. This is a great book, the buddy read as well. We'll be sharing with you in a bit how you can get your hands on a copy. It's a perfect reading for spring. You can read it anytime, but it's perfect spring reading as well. And it's called The Fixed Up Feud by Chandra Blumberg on today. Now, Chandra, let's talk about these characters a little bit, okay? I know we've mentioned Maddie, we've mentioned Jake as well, but I want to ask you this question first, and then we'll kind of unpack their character. But for this book, The Fixed Up Feud, is there a character that was kind of exciting, fun for you to write? But on the flip side, is there another character that was also complex for you to write? So kind of a two-part question.
well, exciting. I immediately thought of some of the side characters. I'm like, I always
Yeah.
kind of fill out those, like the friends, with like Tasha, whose story is coming next, which is a little spoiler, but
Ooh,
um, yeah, so she sort of I love her energy that she has in the book. But in terms of the two main characters, I would say that the toughest one to write was Maddie, just because I feel like it might always be the case with the main character. There's so many layers to her story, and I really want to make sure that readers understand what she's going through because it can be kind of hard to see how she's not trusting Jake and not letting him in, but she's been through some really hard things. So I really wanted to get into that, and then Jake, I'd say, was probably pretty exciting because I got to do a lot of research on the kind of art he does, and to sort of delve into all the facets of his character. So yeah, I'd say Jake would be the more exciting and Maddie would be a little more trickier.
Wow. Okay. Now let me ask you this, Chandra. This is kind of like behind the scene because both of them are creatives in their own right. But again, Jake's creativity and his artistry is interesting. Did you create like a Pinterest of his artwork? Like what was your influence for his artwork that you wrote about?
Yes, I didn't create a Pinterest, but I just did a lot of searching. I did look on Pinterest and on the internet and just looked at some of the collages that I had seen in my own life because I find it really fascinating. So he does artwork where he takes basically kind of like trash, right? Like garbage that he finds on the beach shore or just old pieces from antiques, and he repurposes it. So I just love that idea of taking something old and making something new. And he likes the idea of like cleaning up the beach, you know, and beautifying his place, and then also sort of making a statement like, look, don't leave this sort of stuff and, you know, pollute this beautiful place that we have. So I kind of liked all of that. I found art just really fascinating and really impactful. So I really wanted to delve into that with him.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Now, of course, you know we cannot leave out the friends. What can you tell us about her friends?
Yeah, so I talked about them a little. Tasha and Celeste are her two best friends. So they sort of met back in high school when Maddie was visiting the lake with her parents, which, like I said, that's something I did as a kid and sort of, but she's an only child. So when she was visiting the lake with her parents, you know, they're sitting around, they're laying in the sun, and she's like, oh, you know, so she goes off and she finds these two other girls playing volleyball and they bond and they sort of stay in touch all since high school. And so it becomes her dream to make the move to Orchard Harbor. But these friends, what I loved about Tasha and Celeste is that they're always there for each other no matter what. They're the kind of friends that will drop, you know, whatever is going on and they'll be there for you, but they also tell her like it is. They're not just gonna go along with everything she says, right? We all need that friend that's like, wait.
Call me that friend.
So they really challenge her on her thinking of about Jake, and they're gonna support her whatever she does, but they're like, you know, make sure you're doing things the right way. So yeah, I had so much fun. They're very different. Celeste is a serious one, very down to earth, and Tasha's kind of, she's got her head in the clouds, but also she's a businesswoman. She owns a salon, so she's a lot more savvy than people give her credit for, and so I think they all balance each other out.
I love that. I love that, guys. If you're just joining us, you are not too late. We are hanging out with Chandra Blumberg on today. Hot off the press is the Fix-Up Feud. Guys, this is such an enjoyable read. We'll be sharing with you in just a bit how you can get your hands on a copy of this. And of course, if you have a question or two, put your question in the comment section as well. Now, I want to ask you this, and this is about Maddie's character, and then we'll move on a little bit. For Maddie, she's determined, she's creative, look, a little stubborn at times. But for you, what was it that you enjoyed about just fleshing out her character and bringing her to life on the page?
Oh, well, I really like how she sort of, like, to use a spring metaphor, but she blooms on Peach because she's been through a lot of rough times, and so this is her chance to sort of spread her wings, to see that taking risks doesn't always end in disaster, which is sort of what she's been through. And so I love seeing her character just blossom and grow, and she's one of the most satisfying people to get there happily ever after, because it's like when someone's been hurt, when someone's been through a lot, and they don't necessarily trust people, but they're still willing to take a chance and on something that they want to do, on something that they have been dreaming of, and see it work out. That was a really cool thing to see.
I love that. I love that. And Myra Cook said that she can't wait to get her copy of this book as well. And let's see. Let's talk a little bit about Jake a little bit, and then we will talk about their chemistry for you. Now, what was the most fun part about writing Jake as a hero who's both frustrated and undeniably drawn to Maddie?
Well, I think it was really fun because I'm trying to think. I think he's the first really grouchy hero that I've written. Kind of my heroes tend to be cinnamon rolls; they're real softies. But he sort of always had a chip on his shoulder for his own reasons, you know. So that was really fun to write someone who sort of just gives her some attitude. You know, he's kind of stands up for himself, and so that was really fun to write. And then a lot of that reason that he's grumpy is, yeah, he's attracted to her. He knows they had something so amazing, and now things keep going wrong, and it's frustrating for him. He's like, we can just be so much more if you just, you know, give me a chance. So yeah, that was where the chemistry came in.
Now let's talk about their them two together as well. Now, y'all, let me just tell you, there is definitely chemistry there. Okay, there is nothing wrong in the chemistry department. Okay, and it is instant, but their cooperation for this chemistry not so much. Okay, so for you, how did you balance that tension and that banter with the attraction and also the little bit of humor that you add to it as well?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the tension and chemistry comes from that attraction. So I sort of like to always, anytime they're arguing, we all know how they feel. So that's where it comes from. It's like the push and pull of, we want to give into this, but we're really frustrated with the other person. So you see it play out when they're at home. Things keep happening because not only is her business under renovation, but the house where she's renting the downstairs and he's in the upstairs. It's an older home and he's renovating that as well. So we all know how stressful a renovation is. So she's living through it in two ways. And so they're dealing with that. And it's like all these moments where they have to bicker, but they also are moments for them to build trust, as she sees that he is really good at his job. He is really someone, that she can put her faith in.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're going to do a little bit of three words. I'm going to give you three words. And Chandra, they are pertaining to the book, but I want for you to share with me what's the first thing that comes to mind. So the first three is flour, feelings, foreman. So got the F's going on. Flour, feeling, and flour that you cook with or bake with.
Oh, okay.
Flour, feelings, foreman.
Okay, so yeah, Flour, I mean, she is constantly trying out new recipes for her catering business because it's going to be like a picnic business. She wants to fill this niche for people who come to town. Maybe they didn't pack their picnic basket. Maybe they don't want to do all that. Maybe they're staying in a hotel. And so she's got all these goodies, like small plates. So she actually at one point makes him homemade crackers. So, that's where, she could use some flour for that. She's making scones. She's making all sorts of goodies. And feelings, obviously they are both battling their feelings for each other, but no matter what they do, they just keep growing and they keep coming back. So it's like, they can't fight that forever. And then what was the last one? You got to remind me.
Foreman.
Foreman. Yeah. So obviously he is her construction foreman, right? And she was working with someone else. So it's a big surprise when she turns up and she's like, no, you're not him, So yeah, that's sort of a big shock for her.
I love it. Okay, three more. Grumpy meets determined.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel like that is very much right. Like they're both stubborn. They're both grumpy. And sort of it's like kind of like two people, pushing against each other. But at the same time, I love that dynamic because even to the very end, they're bickering and they're bantering, and that's just sort of their dynamic.
I love that. I love that. Well, guys, it's that time. It is that time for Chandra to share just a little snippet. I know you guys are on the edge of your seat. Just a little snippet about the Fix-Up Feud. So, Chandra, I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend. Of course, you can set the scene, set the tone for us, and we are ready when you are, my friend.
All right. So yeah, this comes from the second chapter. So, like I said, Maddie is new in town and she is out with her friends at a winery. She's practical. So she's like, I should be at home unpacking. I've got a big day of work. But her friends are like, no, you need to celebrate. You just took this big step. So she's out with her friends, but they actually get pulled away. Her friends gets her sister is having a baby. So they have to leave. And she's like, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to finish my glass of wine. She ends up talking to this handsome stranger and they're playing a game of 20 questions is what they decided to start doing. They're playing a game. So they're at this local winery. So that's to set the scene. So this is Jake. He says, hard to deny a beautiful woman what she wants, he said. And the words halted her survey of the room, spoken so calmly, like he was giving her the time of day, yet with a playful edge that sent a thrill down her spine. Are you flirting with me? She'd been in denial that this was anything more than a friendly game. Guess I've been doing it wrong if you're just now realizing, he said with a grin. Her heart gave a flutter. And here I thought you were just a fan of guessing games. It occurred to her that she was flirting right back. He chuckled. Can't say it was in my plans for tonight, but then again, neither was meeting you. I was kind of surprised you wanted to spend time with me. I've heard some locals don't take kindly to newcomers. Tasha and Celeste had warned her she might get the cold shoulder from some residents who were slow to trust anyone from out of town. And Jake had complained about the tourists who'd taken over their table. Some folks have been burned by people who only care about their bottom line and not investing in the community. Jake set his beer down, spinning it on the coaster, her attention snagged on his strong arms and big hands, knuckles showing scrapes and healed scars, maybe from using tools in his creations. But finding out you're a new addition to a town was the best news I've heard in a long time. His gaze dropped for a moment, and Maddie could have sworn he was looking at her lips. Was he thinking about kissing her? Her own eyes traced the angular curve of his stubbled jaw, taking in his wide mouth and prominent Adam's apple. His throat bobbed in a long swallow, and he spoke again, snapping her attention to his honey-colored eyes. 2 questions left, Maddie. Right then, the only question that came to mind was, do you feel this too?
Guys, there you have it. There is a snippet. She left you on a cliffhanger. You have to find out what happens. This is the Fix-Up Feud by Chandra Blumberg. It's available now. We'll be sharing with you in just a moment how you can get your hands on a copy of it. And there's also a giveaway that we'll be doing as well. Now, Chandra, we're going to do a little rapid fire, my friend. And again, it is the Fix-Up Feud edition. Okay, so some of the questions, it may be one word answers, or the first thing that comes to mind as well. Okay, grumpy or sunshine? Grumpy or sunshine?
I mean, I feel like since I wrote this grumpy book, I gotta say grumpy, but I do love a good sunshine character. I've written a sunshine hero too, but there's just something about that grouchy hero that you want to get in there and see what makes him smile. So
I love it. I love it. Now, Chandra, favorite renovation show?
Ooh, you know what? I've got to say, I've watched my share of those over the years. We always love to like watch them as a family. I love It or List It is a fun one because they have like the bickering between the 2 hosts. I think that might be a favorite one.
Okay, Chandra, your favorite writing snack?
Ooh, so many. I think something, salty, but like I can eat without getting my hands too dirty. So like the bag popcorn, if you just get the plain kind, it's like you can get the good crunch, but you're not having to wipe your hands all the time.
Wow. Okay, now this is a good one. What is a tool that Jake always has on him?
I mean, a hammer is easy, right? Because you can always do stuff with it. You can always pull out nails. You never know when you might need to hang something up. So I'll go with
I love it. Okay, last one, rapid fire. A food Maddie would never serve.
Ooh, never serve. I would say, those canned biscuits. I feel like she's gonna make her biscuits from scratch.
I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, now Chandra, we have a little more time here, and we're gonna do a round of this or that. But here's the twist: it is this or that, the Fix-Up Feud edition. Are you ready, Chandra?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Early morning construction or a late night cater prep?
Ooh, if it's me, I'm going the early morning construction. I'm not a night owl.
Okay. Winning the bid or winning the heart?
Oh, gotta be the heart, right?
I love it. I love it. Oh, this is a good one, Chandra. You ready? Maddie's determination or Jake's stubbornness?
I see that determination, right? We want the stubbornness. We gotta work on that, right?
Okay. Maddie's kitchen confidence or Jake's construction confidence?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like I would love to have the construction. I wish I could do more stuff around the house. So that's what I would choose. I feel pretty competent in the kitchen, but not.
I love it.
Anything.
All right, this is the last one. Friendly competition or flirty competition?
Flirty for sure.
I love it. Flirty competition has it. I love that, Chandra. And thank you so much for hanging out with us and playing around of this or that and spilling some tea about the Fix-Up Feud. Guys, as I said, there is a giveaway on today, and I'm going to allow Chandra to share with you what the giveaway is going to be.
Yeah, before I do the giveaway, I did see a question popped up where someone said, what's the inspiration for their story? Should I answer that real quick?
Yes, you sure can.
Facebook.
I'll see if I can pull it up while you're answering.
Let's see.
I'll look for it. Let's see. Here it is. I found it, and you can answer that.
Sorry. It said I lost connection.
Oh, you're fine.
I think you're coming back. Sorry.
And thank you, Jennifer, for this question. Let's see if we can bring Chandra back. Let's
Oh, here
see.
I am.
There
Okay.
you
Yeah.
are.
Sorry, I don't know
And
what happened.
Chandra, Jennifer's question was, what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, I saw that. So I just love the idea of having these two characters. Like I said, they both have things in their past that they needed healing from, and just to see them work through that and get. I love had a hard time getting some sweetness in their life, getting this moment where they can just sort of relax and get treated right. They've been, treated poorly, and find someone who really sees their worth despite all the stubbornness and the grumpiness. They see this beautiful person. So that's why I was really drawn to writing Maddie and Jake finding each other, because I feel like they're the absolute perfect people to sort of recognize in each other all those wonderful things that maybe other people might overlook.
Wow, I love that. And again, Jennifer, thank you for asking that question. And Chandra, thank you for answering that question as well. And I will allow you to go into what the
Yes,
giveaway is going to be.
the giveaway. Yeah. So I have a lovely copy of the Fix-Up Feud. I'm going to sign it for whoever wins it. And I've got a bookmark too, a very springy bookmark. So that is going to be the giveaway for today.
I love that. I love that. So the giveaway today is a lovely Orchard Harbor bookmark that has the Fixed Up Feud on there as well. And you're going to get an autograph copy, not just a copy, an autograph copy of the Fixed Up Feud from Chandra Blumberg. And of course, all you had to do to be in the running for the giveaway on this evening was to comment throughout the to comment in the comment sections throughout the broadcast on today. So Chandra, I am ready when you are, my friend. I am going to go up and down the comment section. And when you tell me when to stop, my friend, that person will be the winner of the giveaway on today. So I am ready when you are.
All right, stop.
Okay. Caitlin, you are the winner today. And it says Extreme Makeover was her. That's her. Well, I think when I asked you what was your favorite renovation show as well. So, Caitlin, and thank you, my friend. If you will inbox me your information, I'll be sure to get that over to Chandra Blumberg for an autograph copy of the Fixed Up Feud, as well as the lovely Orchard Harbor bookmark as well. Chandra, and thank you so much for hanging out with me on today. The time goes by so fast, and we have had an amazing time talking about the Fixed Up Feud on today. And so I want for you to share with us, how can they get their hands on a copy of the Fix Up Feud? And guys, it is available in ebook as well as print.
Yeah, so you can go to like your favorite place to buy books online. Also, it's in Barnes and Noble stores. I saw a lot of our local Barnes and Noble stores. If you have a local bookstore that allows you to order it through there, or Amazon, Target, Walmart, all the usual places. And like Angela said, it is going to be in paperback and ebook, and you can also find it at your local library. You can find it, on the shelves there, or also Libby or Hoopla. And if your library doesn't have it, something that a lot of people don't know is you can request books. So it always helps us authors. If you don't see the book at your library, or you don't see it on the library app, go ahead and put in a request, and your library might purchase a copy, and that would be awesome. Then you could read it, and that would be great.
I love it, guys. And there you have it. Get you a copy of the Fix-Up Feud. It is available now. Support your local indie bookstore. Of course, you can go to some of the larger bookstores like Barnes and Nobles as well. You can go online and order it online from Amazon and other places where you can buy your books online as well. But definitely get you a copy of the Fix-Up Feud. And of course, guys, once you read it, definitely leave a review. I know that Chandra will be so appreciative of you leaving her a review of this book as well. And not only leave a review, guys, but tell a friend to get them a copy and buddy read with someone. I promise you that you guys will enjoy it as well. Now, Chandra, of course, before you share with us how we can stay connected with you, I want to ask you this. What was something that surprised you the most while writing the Fix-Up Feud?
Ooh, surprised me. I would honestly say, so I am kind of, for authors, we have the plotters who really plot through the book, and the pantsers, we say, because they write by the seat of their pants. They sort of don't know where it's going. For me, I do a little of both. So I know where I want the story to go, but I sort of have to write the book to know who the characters are. And so, Jake, what he's gone through in his past, that sort of caught me by surprise as I was writing along. It wasn't until I really got into the book that I saw what he had been through and those relationships. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but that was the biggest surprise for me, sort of coming into his character and feeling, wow, getting to know him better as I wrote the book. And yeah, that was what I think is the thing that I didn't sort of plan on, but as I wrote him, it just sort of, the characters kind of get revealed to me as I write the story.
Wow, wow. And I think that leads us into our final question for you. In one sentence, Chandra, what captured the heart of the Fix-Up Feud for you? So in one sentence, what captures the heart of this amazing book, the Fix-Up Feud, for you?
All right, I guess I would say two stubborn, determined individuals who find their happily ever after in the person they least expect.
Wow. I love that. I love that, guys. And there you have it. That is our show on tonight with Chandra Blumberg, her new release, The Fixed-Up Feud. And of course, Chandra, please share with us, how can we stay connected with you, my friend?
Yeah, so you can sign up for my newsletter on my website, which is my name, chandrablumberg.com, Bloomberg with a U. And you can find me on social media. I'm most active on Instagram, so at Chandra Blumberg, and also Threads at Chandra Blumberg. And then also, if you're on Facebook, you can find me at chandrablumberg.author.
I love it, guys. There you have it. Make sure that you stay connected with Chandra Blumberg. Make sure you sign up for her newsletter so you can be in the know as well. And get a copy of The Fixed-Up Feud and tell a friend to tell a friend. That is our show on today. And of course, guys, we have to allow our friend Chandra Blumberg to have the last words of what she wants to say to the people tonight.
Well, I just got to say thank you, Angela, for having me again. It's always such a joy to be on the cafe. I love your enthusiasm. It brings a smile to my face on release week. And to everyone joining and tuning in, it means the world. Like Angela said, for you to just read the book, to be here with us, to support me on my journey. When I write these books, I have y'all in mind. I want to bring a smile to people's faces. I want to bring joy to your day. And so I hope if you do pick up the book, that you enjoy it. And thanks for spending your evening with us.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, that is our show on today. We've had an amazing time hanging out with the Chandra Blumberg, talking about her new release that's hot off the press, The Fixed-Up Feud. And as we always say here at the cafe, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. Read a good book that includes The Fixed-Up Feud. Bye-bye.